Thanks, listeners, for joining us for today's Elko Live here on KELK. It is Tuesday. It's the day we set aside to jump right in to city news. And we've got a special treat today as we're going to be talking all about Silver State Stampede. The legend lives on. The rodeo happens this weekend. And folks wait for this all year, and they plan for it all year. And so we're going to dive right in with that, too. But Jan Baum, our city manager, is here to talk about a pretty good agenda today. Jan, you've got some cool things on here, so thank you for coming on the radio.
Right, we have actually a pretty light agenda, which is nice, and we've had some pretty heavy ones for the last few months, and so this will be a good agenda for the council members. And you're right up at the very beginning of the agenda is the Silver State Stampede, and declaring it's a PRCA rodeo week. So and the posters are all around town, and it's exciting, and the rodeo is a great event for our city.
It's a great family-friendly event. It is a huge shot in the arm for the local economy on so many different levels. I mean, just in our family, people buying outfits, it's hilarious. It's like, oh yeah, need new hat, need new boots, gotta have a big buckle, So we'll be talking about that. That is a proclamation right off the top too. Nevada Rural Housing, Jan, is going to present. This is something the city does every year, right?
Yes, they come and present their program every year. It's a great program for our community, and providing loans and things for first-time home buyers, and it's a great program, and so it's always nice to have them come remind us of what exactly their program entails.
And then really excited to launch in this presentation that's coming up something that's been important to you for 2-3 years, Jan. Anything that's worthwhile takes a lot of time to plan and to craft.
It really does. So we've been talking about the Flight Alliance of Northeastern Nevada, which is FAN is the acronym, for a good year and a half. I bet we've been working on it a little over a year. I think it was from April of 2023. So, and we've got a board of directors together. We've been working really hard on FAN, the Flight Alliance, and what we're all about and what our mission is. And so we're excited to present to the City Council our status, what's going on, where we are with the minimum revenue guarantee, the MRG. So FAN has been paying that. And then our public-private members who are helping us out. And then we're hoping in August that we will have a public-private kickoff meeting or event, and invite the public to come learn about Elko Regional Airport and how important commercial air service is to our community.
This is significant for a lot of reasons, Jan, because forming the alliance, just as it suggests, you've got private and public organizations, and that sends a message to both the industry, so the airline industry, as well as to maybe federal regulators or even congressional or Nevada representatives about how serious this is.
Absolutely, yes. We've been going to legislative session for the last couple sessions. So I believe that Jim Foster's been going for 12 to 16 years, and talking about commercial air service at Elko Regional Airport. And so you're right, this will really show when we go again this year. It'll really show that our community is invested in maintaining and maybe even expanding commercial air service for our residents and our commercial businesses in the catchment area as a whole. So the catchment area isn't just the city of Elko or Elko County. It also includes Lander County and Eureka County and a portion of Humboldt. And so our catchment area are the people that utilize the airport. And so we have a large catchment area, and without commercial air service, economic business development would be very difficult to get companies to come to our area. That's one of the first questions that they always ask Sheldon Mudd is, do you have commercial air service? And thank heavens we can say yes. And we've gotten where our commercial air service flight schedule is much better than it used to, but it was a couple years ago, and the numbers are just really growing. And so we appreciate the community so much for using our commercial air service.
Well, Jan, thanks. It'll be a great presentation right at the top of the agenda during this afternoon's 4 o'clock meeting. You'll be talking more again about financial commitments. You have a very diverse board. They're all volunteers, everybody who's you're chairing this effort and steering a lot of really involved professionals, people who care about this. They understand.
Absolutely, yes. We have a great involved board, and they include people from, like I said, Elko County, Lander County, City of Elko. Terry Clerk with NNRH is our treasurer, and Annette Kerr from ECVA, and then Amanda Ferguson with Sandvik. So we're trying to get members that represent all aspects of our community. So we're getting there, and that will expand and move as we get members to join FAN.
Well, thanks, Jan. Again, that'll be on this afternoon's agenda. The ask at the end of the proposal will be to learn more about FAN and the issues facing commercial air travel in and out of Elko Regional Airport, to provide feedback and insight, and then to advocate for maintaining and expanding commercial air travel. So that will all be part of this effort going forward. So we'll spend much more time talking about FAN.
Absolutely.
And thanks for all your hard work, Jan, and everybody who's on that committee, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've worked hard, but we have a really good group, so.
All right, so that'll be on the agenda as well today. And we'll skip ahead a little bit because I think it does tie in with there is consideration for staff to apply for a small community air service development program grant. And have we ever done this before, Jan? Or?
I think that we did it years and years ago. Jim Foster was educating me on that, and he said it was before him even that we applied for. It's called the SCASDP Grant, but anyway, so it is a grant to help small communities with their commercial air service. So I'm really excited about this grant. The window was very short. We got the grant notification in June, and it's already due middle of July. So we're Jim Foster is going to the council to ask for permission to apply for that grant, and we'll see how that comes together.
Yeah, sometimes they can be tough, but it's good to get in the pipeline just to start the process. So this can help with your revenue guarantee, financial assistance for marketing, and startup cost studies, for existing air service, that kind of thing. So
absolutely, yes. If we could get this and possibly have additional money for an more MRGs, maybe we could get additional commercial flights into our Elko Regional Airport.
Jan Baum is our guest, and we're just going over the agenda in advance of this afternoon's regular council meeting. That'll be at 4 o'clock today, and anybody interested in any of these issues, come and take a seat. It's fun to sit. I guess I'm nerdy that way, but I like going to city council, and you can always watch online.
Absolutely. Yeah. There are, a couple different options. Yes, you can watch it online. You can listen online. You could call in, and you can attend in person at 1751 College Avenue.
Another item on the agenda, we'll jump back up a little bit, is reviewing Elko City's shortlist for engineering. And the reason I think this is significant, there was a recent county commission discussion, Jan, and they were discussing qualifications, requests for proposals, and they were trying to determine, who to put on the list or keep on, award a contract to. And it's always a good opportunity to educate the community. As much as we'd like to, we can't just award contracts based on maybe our relationships or, the great role that the company might play in the community. There are laws governing RFPs.
Absolutely, there are. And so for engineering services, those laws are even a little bit more stringent because we can't award contracts based just on price with engineers. It needs to be based on their qualifications. And so both the public works, so the utility director and also the assistant city manager, and they all use engineering services. So they put out an RFQ, and based on the qualifications of the different engineers that was submitted, they will now have a short list of engineers, and it's actually a matrix that they've put together, and based on the different kinds of engineering services that we are needing at the city, then there will be a list of engineers that are qualified to do that work. So it's amazing how much engineering services we use. And currently, we have a job opening for a civil engineer, and so with that spot open since Bob Tebow left the city. We really utilize a lot of engineering services. And so, yeah, this list is important, and it'll be active for 3 years. And then another change that we made this time was if a new engineer moves to the community or something, they do have an opportunity to come before council and ask to be put on to the short list based on their qualifications.
Well, thanks, Jan. Jan Baum is our city manager, and you have a fantastic counterpart here in the head of the planning department.
Absolutely.
And, so Cathy Laughlin is going to, well, she's got like 3 hats today, but that's okay. She's used to it. And it's a good thing they're white hats. So Cathy's going to talk about Silver State Stampede.
Absolutely.
Which is super cool. We'll just finish going over the agenda, and then we can switch over to Cathy. And I'm sure she'd like to put in a plug for, certainly hiring the engineer, because
Absolutely, and she knows how much we use engineers being the city planner for sure.
And there is a request from Downtown Business Association, the food trucks set up, that's such a popular thing to do, and they're going to set up during the wine walks, I think.
Absolutely, and they already did this one time this summer, I believe in June, and it went real well for them. And so now this request will be for the remainder of the wine walks that will go on for the rest of this year. I think having the food trucks in the corridor is a good addition to the wine walk, and if you're out drinking wine, it's always good idea to have a little snack. So I think it was a hit, and I'm excited that they're doing it.
And it's nice that our established restaurants, the brick and mortar, if you will, overall, I think they're supportive and they're understanding. They don't stay open those late hours. And they just know that getting people downtown is good for their businesses as well. So
absolutely. It is good for their businesses. And you're right. In that corridor, and the restaurants that are close to that are not open on Saturday evening. And so it's a good addition to the wine walk for sure.
Yeah, definitely consider it. And wanted to mention, too, for those people like me who said, I didn't get to see the Big Boy. I didn't get to go to Carlin because I was working. But Big Boy is coming back westward and will be making a stop in Elko if the council approves this. So
yes, they'll be here on July 18th. And like it says here, between 6 and 7 p.m. And it'll be down on Manzanita Lane, kind of close to Union Pacific. That's the road that will intersect into Manzanita Lane. And so it'll be exciting. I know somebody that went to Carlin yesterday, and they really enjoyed it. And there were a lot of people there taking a look at the Big Boy, and they say it's impressive. So if people want to come down, for sure come down and take a look. I don't think that they're going to have public access to the train, but for sure come down and take pictures if you'd like.
Union Pacific Railroad's Big Boy is a historic steam locomotive. It's an important part of Western and Elko County history, certainly Elko history. This is one of 19 whistle stops in 5 states. And it's just cool. People do love trains. They're so powerful and amazing. It's like they're alive or something, chugging along like that with their big steam engines.
And so much history, like you said. So, yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. And let's see, we jumped around the agenda a lot. That was me, but I want to make sure that we're getting to all. Oh, it is really cool. And speaking of planning, and I know Cathy can chime in on this too, is that we have planning commission members that want to be reappointed to their 4-year terms. So that's really great.
Yeah, that's great. You're right. That's Cathy's alley, and it'll be a good segue into Cathy chiming in.
All right. Thanks, Jan. We'll give you a little break and make sure I turn off the right microphone. And Cathy, welcome back to the radio show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you. And you have been so busy. And I know, I don't know if Jan's your boss because you guys are kind of equals, but you work so well together. But you've really filled an important role at the city. And I hope people can understand and appreciate that. You've been doing city clerk duties in addition to planning, right?
I sure have.
Yeah. Is that going okay? You have a lot of support?
Yeah,
okay.
I have some great support, and it's been a challenge, but we're plugging away. We're
Yep.
getting it done.
Just like the steam train chugging away. Jan?
She's absolutely doing an amazing job for us, and we very much appreciate her. I just wanted to chime that in.
Well, thank you. And I think that's really the beauty of the kind of teamwork that we have at City Hall, certainly. So, and you're still searching for a permanent replacement for our retired clerk.
Yes, absolutely. We're right in the middle of that recruitment process and hoping to take that to council soon.
Okay, sounds good, and give you a little break, Cathy. But yeah, but planning is really, that's in your heart, in your passion. That's been your profession all along, right?
It has been for the last, I've been at the city over 8 years now, so as the city planner, so it's very good.
And you understand, when we just had that small segue into licensed professionals, that because as a licensed professional architect, that, was something that was, really important to you. You work hard for those credentials.
You really do, and it is really important that we do find a really good civil engineer for the city of Elko. It's an important role, and we all use the civil engineer in all of our community development portions of the city, so it is really important that we find that position. So we're looking, we're trying.
All right, keep recruiting and spread the word. There are a lot of folks that maybe graduated college, maybe looking to come home. Look at Ralph. I mean, he came back to Elko, which was great.
He sure did.
Yeah. So you can contribute in any number of ways, but that civil engineering position is open with the city. And as we were saying, you have 2 city planners, and we should talk about what the city planning board does for the community.
Well, the City Planning Commission meets once a month. We meet on the first Tuesday of every month, and they really are the first eyes on the project. They make most of their items, they are recommending a motion to the City Council. So there's a few things that they make final decision on, but the majority of it is a recommendation to City Council. So it's really important that the Planning Commission, there's 7 members on that commission, and they really have to look at a project as a whole and make that recommendation to City Council, so that City Council isn't spending all their time looking at every detail of that project. That's the Planning Commission's responsibility. So we do have a good board. There's 7 of them right now, and 2 of them we rotate. So every year there's a few that their terms are being expired, and then they have the option to be reinstated for up to another 4-year term. So.
And you've got both John Lemich and Garret Kamps would like to be back on the board, which is great.
Yeah, it's great. We were super happy for that.
And this is a diverse commission, by the way. There are people who are in business, people who are not in business, people retired. I mean, it's really, and you don't have to have experience as an engineer, for example.
No, you don't. Nope. It's a great board.
Yeah. So this is, again, an important position within the city, and we've even had some use this to go on and become elected officials. So there you go. So that can happen as well. So that is up for consideration on the consent agenda. And I did want to welcome and mention the police department has a new patrol officer in Seth Morton. So just in time, it's good to get more police officers there. And Cathy, I also just wanted to give you a nod. I talked to some business owners downtown because, they're just so proud of their businesses. And really the people that I've talked to are very appreciative of what the city has been accomplishing. And that sidewalk project, it got delayed, but the good news is it could come back up maybe sooner than we thought, right?
We are certainly hoping that this next spring that we are back out to bid again. I think it just came at the wrong timing. There were a lot of federal funded projects out there at that time, and we didn't get very good competitive bidding. So we're hoping that in the spring, the plans are done, they're ready to go. We're hoping to go back out to bid and get some good bids and be able to start it again this next summer.
And we've seen some beautiful results with the storefront grant, and now you've been able to offer some grants to go inside with accessibility, and right?
Mm-hmm. We have the infrastructure grant program, and we had 2 recipients of that this year. One for the Rancho Plaza to do some ADA restroom remodeling, and then one for Eric Latin purchased the old bike shop, Bristlecone Bike Shop. So he's doing an ADA restroom as well. So it does benefit these businesses that have a change in use, or that they just sit vacant for too long and then they lose their occupancy or what they were grandfathered in at. So the infrastructure grant program is super good. We're excited that we finally got a couple of applicants for that grant program, and the storefront as well. We've made some great progress.
Oh, yeah. Once people see or experience the results, and then they kind of get in line, don't they, Cathy?
They do.
Yeah.
They do. And that's what it's all about, right, is just to spur that development next door.
Yep, making your investment as a private property owner combined with a city resource, because they are paying a tax increment that goes in, and that's been nice to see that grow. So
It really has been nice, and we're excited that the new Sandvik facility is in the redevelopment area, so that will give us a little bit more boost. It's hard to get projects done when it takes 3 years to build up the fund to have enough money to do a project. So that's frustrating for me, right? I want to see progress and I want to see things done, right? But we have to be patient, and we have to build up the fund and then fund the projects.
yeah, it's kind of the pay-as-you-go concept.
It really is.
Yeah, and that's responsible. Then we don't have to bond, and sometimes the city has to bond, like for the water modernization plan, which I know we've talked about, and we'll talk more about that as the summer goes by. So, Cathy, I hope we got to sort of the latest in the planning department. Anything to report on from the clerk's office, or anything you need help from the community on?
We have a lot of projects going in the clerk's office right now, so a lot of projects are out to bid, and others have just been recently awarded, so it's busy.
And you've got to get ready for a general election, right?
We do.
Yeah. So the cities
Yep.
will coincide. It's been aligned with the November general. And that's really, I think that's been a good thing, because it has enhanced turnout, obviously, especially during a presidential election.
For sure.
Yeah. So I think we have 3 candidates for the 2 seats. Okay.
Correct.
Everybody's nodding. And we've got plenty. Let's get through all the fun of summer before we get back into that. So we've got plenty of time to enjoy. And speaking of enjoying, I want to make sure, we've got plenty of time and to talk about this amazing community event. The Silver State Stampede is 112 years old, Cathy.
We are. It's exciting. We are the oldest rodeo in the state of Nevada.
And it's happening this weekend. The theme is always "The Legend Lives On," started by G.S. Garcia, family and friends. Yeah.
It sure did, and at that time, Elko really needed the rodeo to give a boost to the economy, and it continues to give a boost to the economy. So we're super proud of our rodeo. We have, in the last 5 years, we have grown that rodeo tremendously. We are now in the NFR playoff series, and that means that we're in the top 50 rodeos in the nation, and that's based on the added money that you give to your contestants. So that's really important that we stay in that, because a lot of the cowboys and cowgirls particularly go to NFR playoff series rodeos to earn those points to make it to the playoff series finale, where they can ride for up to $1 million in purse money. So, and a lot of them, that's what takes them to the NFR. So they look at their schedule and then they plan accordingly. And, it's really fun that we're talking about the fan right now on this agenda, because the airlines into Elko is super important for our rodeo as well. I have Miss Rodeo Tennessee and Miss Rodeo Nevada that are flying into Elko on Saturday night on the flight, and of course asking how they can get a ride from the airport, and I'm like, it's right during the performance, I can't be there. But it's really important that we have that airlines coming in for the rodeo as well. We have a lot of contestants that are trying to get here from Calgary, because Calgary ends on Saturday, and if they don't make the finals on Saturday, they want to be able to fly in and make our performance. And I know of a group of them that are looking at a private jet. How do we get to Elko? We don't have the airlines and several options for them to get into Elko, but it is really important for all events in Elko to have that airlines, and the rodeo is just one of them.
Right. We have national and international events. The National Basque Festival was just this past weekend, the 60th, and I know the plans are to continue that well into the future, Cathy. And so, and National Cowboy Poetry Gathering, same thing. If we didn't have an airport that can serve the needs, that would certainly be a detriment. So that's a really good point about tying that into to our local travel. And this is the type of rodeo. This is when you mean PRCA sanctioned, that's a certain caliber of talent that attracts, because they know it's a quality experience. The stock is quality. They're going to get, like you said, the points they need.
These are professional athletes. It would be just like if somebody was following golf, and it would be just like having Tiger Woods come to Elko. When you have people that are in the top ranked in the world come into Elko for our rodeo. And we do have our stock contractor comes all the way from Oklahoma. He just left Cody, Wyoming. We had 4 loads of horses come in through the middle of the night last night. And he has been nominated by the professional athletes for the last 9 years in a row as the stock contractor of the year for all rodeo. And that is a huge thing. That is a very, very, when people say, oh, who's your stock contractor? And we say Frontier Rodeo Company, they're like, oh, we're for sure coming to Elko. That is just something that when people follow rodeo, they know our stock contractor.
And a lot of work has gone into this from your board, and again, to just generate this professional atmosphere and environment, Cathy, because, it started out as, such a small event. At a couple of times, we weren't sure we're going to continue to have the Stampede.
For sure.
And now look, there's, we're broadcast on national television, the Cowboy Channel. You can purchase an app and download it and watch it anywhere you are.
We are. On Friday and Saturday, we are on the app, and then on Sunday, we are live on the channels. So that's really important for us, too, because on Sunday, we are going to be featuring a presentation to the Trenton Montero family and the Trenton Montero Foundation. And Trenton Montero is a professional bareback rider that we lost last year, and that's really important to us.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
very, very important to us.
Oh, wonderful that we can host something like that and do it in the most generous heart and spirit that we're known for here.
We are.
Yeah.
And it's a family-friendly event. We have a new entertainer coming this year is Cody Sosby. He's never been to Elko. He's a riot. He'll have a great time here in Elko. And then we have Bobby Kerr, another specialty act entertainer that brings along his Mustang act. And he adopts these Mustangs off the Nevada desert, and he trains them to do these amazing things. They'll climb into a convertible car with him, and he's got a couple of dogs in his act, and very entertaining. And, we try to keep it family-friendly. We try to keep the prices at the gate very reasonable so that a family can come more than one day and at a time throughout the weekend. We have a mechanical bull that's free for everyone to ride. So the kids line up for that for hours. It entertains the parents. They can watch the rodeo because the kid is over there on the mechanical bull for hours on end. But it's a family-friendly event. We really enjoy it.
So it opens this Thursday, right? Should we run down the schedule?
Yeah, so Thursday we start at 9 o'clock in the morning with our what's called slack performance. And slack is the performance if you have, let's say, 100 barrel racers that enter your rodeo, you're only going to have 12 get selected to ride Friday, 12 Saturday, and 12 Sunday. So the remaining 50, 60, 70 barrel racers get put into the slack performance. So you're going to see a lot of trucks and trailers coming through Elko for Thursday morning at 9 a.m. And that's free to attend at the Elko County Fairgrounds. There are no rough stock events during that. We just take the rough stock in the performance, but there will be team roping, tie-down roping, steer wrestling, and barrel racing. So then we have Thursday night, new this year, we have the kickoff concert. That's featuring Eli Young Band, and that was a collaboration with the Boys and Girls Club of Elko. And without partners like that, we couldn't be successful. We have amazing sponsors and collaboration with organizations in this community to put these on. And so this is new this year. They are the host of the concert, and I think that they're going to have an amazing concert. Eli Young Band's never been here, and it's going to be a good concert.
The gates will open at 5:30. Again, you can get tickets. Most of what you're recommending is to get tickets online in advance so that you can avoid the long lines.
Yes.
And then to do it only at a certain website. Don't purchase from anything other than rodeoticket.com?
Correct. If you just go to the silverstatestampede.com website, you can get your concert ticket link is on there and your rodeo ticket link is on there. We have some scammers out there that,
They
unfortunately.
scam everything, yeah.
And there's nothing you can do to stop them. But if you go to stampedeconcert.com or Silver State Stampede, and that's the way to buy the rodeo tickets or the concert tickets.
And you can head to JM Capriola's at 5th and Commercial Street, where the landmark Red Horse stands to greet you, and buy
Yes.
those rodeo tickets in person, too.
You sure can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks to them, the family, too. That's such a long standing family tradition, too, of supporting the Silver State Stampede. Wow, how cool. Okay, so then we want to get back to mutton busting and mini bowls and wearing purple on Friday.
Yeah, so we selected the charity of Man Up Crusade several years ago. It's really bringing awareness to domestic violence, and we raised funds that night. And we last year we donated $2,000 to the Harbor House here local with the Committee Against Domestic Violence. So we're going to be doing that again on Friday, so wear your purple. And then our charity for Saturday night is the Tough Enough to Wear Pink. And that is being sponsored by the local hospital and NRH. And so we ask everyone to wear pink. And our charity for that is the Elko Cancer Network. So the money will stay local, and it will support cancer patients that have to travel to Salt Lake for treatment. So the gates open at 4 o'clock on Friday and Saturday, and 5:30 is the mutton busting and mini bulls. And then right after that, we roll right into the rodeo. And then after the rodeo, we have a little after rodeo dance down at the Cowboy Bar featuring Reckless Envy. So it's action-packed.
Definitely action-packed. It is an important Elko County tradition. It is one of those events where there is something for everybody. And I know that the young people just love it too. I mean, Olivia's not going to be able to come this year, but she just loves going. And because again, they can all dress up and they can just come out and see their friends, Cathy. And
yeah. And there's, we even have a vendor show. We have sold out this year. We took 25 vendors in the vendor area, and it has a variety of different handmade things to jewelry to Western wear. So that's something for everyone as well. And it's a good event for Elko.
Cool.
It really is.
Definitely. Cool country music and cold brews and cowboys and cowgirls, and just a great kickback time. And you can start as early as Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right through Sunday. And if you can't be there, or you want to tell family and friends to watch on the Cowboy Channel, certainly, and especially that live event that you're doing on Sunday, you said that's
Sunday.
Yeah, that's going to be really memorable.
I do have to give a plug for Dakota Eldridge, our local cowboy. He is, I know day sheets have not been posted yet, but he is up on Friday night in the Friday night performance. And it's been several years since Dakota has been in the nighttime performance at the Silver State Stampede. So we're excited. We're excited to have Dakota here, and we would love for him to just have as many people in the crowd and all of his fans here.
Oh, I was just going to say, I hope you have enough room in the grandstands. I think 700 people or something. Can you fit that many in there? We hope.
Oh, yeah. We fit plenty. And we bring in 2 extra grandstands that we had the assistance through ARPA funding to purchase a couple years ago. And so those are on the side. And yeah, we could definitely use about 1,500 more seats, but we do what we can.
Definitely. So reserved seating in the grandstands is $20, no matter the age. Elevated arena is $25, but then general admission tickets, $15 for adults, children 6 to 10 are $5, and seniors get in for $10 as well. And it just is going to be a huge hometown crowd. And as you mentioned, a lot of visitors too for this one.
Yeah, I looked this morning on our rodeo ticket. They do give us a heat map. and we've already sold tickets in 22 different states.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah, as far as Alaska to Florida.
Oh my goodness.
New York, Texas, we've sold them on several states.
Well, Cathy, if you could just see her big, beautiful smile, you would know she's so thrilled because, again, this is a labor of love. Nobody gets paid as a volunteer working hard all year round. Jan Peterson was your parade grand marshal.
Yes.
Just want to give a shout out, Jan. She represents everything that we appreciate about this rodeo as well, the history. The
for
passion,
sure.
the family, yeah.
We couldn't have picked a better Grand Marshal. She will be presented on Saturday night at the rodeo, and then we have a special presentation on Friday night to our rodeo veterinarian who has been volunteering for over 20 years for our rodeo as well. So we try to give that appreciation and that love to those that are out there and always here to help us as part of our rodeo. And those are just two of the things that we're going to do this weekend.
Cathy Laughlin is secretary of the Silver State Stampede, the all-volunteer crew that puts on this event. It is the legend and it's the legacy that we can all participate
For sure.
in. Yeah. Thank you,
Yes,
Cathy.
thank you.
Oh, we appreciate your time. Did we get to everything? I hope we didn't leave
did.
anything out,
No.
but silverstatestampede.com is an excellent website. It's so easy to navigate. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, good job there. And don't forget, it's this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday. It's going to be a terrific time. And it is a PRCA, Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association sanctioned sporting event. It is also a nonprofit organization. All volunteers work very hard to make this event happen for the Elko community. So, Jana, I guess with that in mind, should we send you guys over to City Hall for a 4 o'clock meeting?
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to give a plug as well for the Silver State Stampede and what a wonderful organization recognizing their volunteers and recognizing, all the people that make it happen. And it wouldn't be here without Cathy and Pat Laughlin, and they just do an amazing job with this event, and the city is very excited to have them here.
Thank you. Thank you, listeners, for joining us. Hopefully, we've filled in all the blanks if you had any questions about Silver State Stampede this weekend. Thank you for joining us for today's Elko Live radio show. You can listen online. We archive these editions at elkoradio.com. Have a fantastic day. City Council meeting starts at 4 this afternoon.